So I hope you have done the practice on these things, and if you have any problem, if you got any problem related to these things, then you can ask me. Then we'll proceed to the next topic that is important, and it will make your JSP more interactive. We'll see that part. So just let me know that do you have any query, do you have any question related to the previous topic? If no, then we can proceed to the next topic. And I have uploaded the video, but not shared with you. Today, yes. So just give me the confirmation, and if you have any query, just put you in chat box. No. Okay, fine. So today's topic is uh, it is actually the blend of two things. Okay, it's a combination of two things that we will discuss together, because single if you want to learn that the one topic should be covered in the single session and another one in another session, so it makes more complicated for implementation point of view. So what is the topic that I am talking about? The topic name is called EL means expression language. Okay, so here let me open notepad. So I am talking about the EL. It is called expression language. Okay, so expression language, JSP expression language, it is a kind of a language that you can use in your application. What we can do with the expression language, we will see with the example. And make sure, just remember this point, that expression language is used, and whenever you write anything, you will use the dollar symbol, and whatever the expression you want to write, you will write by using pair of curly braces. So here you will write your expressions that you want to evaluate. So this is called the expression JSP expression language, and here you can perform the operations, any operations like arithmetic, logical, and comparison. So this expression, this tag provides, you can write your expression over here. But to write the expression, it makes easier. It handles so many things by default. So we'll see the example. This is the EL that I'm talking about, expression language. And another thing is called that is JSTL. JSTL means JSP is standard tag libraries. Okay, so standard tag libraries that comes with the JSP, that is JSTL. And since we are using the JSP version 2.x, so the JSTL is now the part of the JSP. It is not you don't need to go means it is not the external thing. It is the part of the JSP that you can use in your JSP. For only one thing you need to do, that um, if you want to use any standard tag library, only you need to include that library into your application. So when we talk about the JSTL, the question is why we are going to use the JSTL. So just look at this code. If you want to do anything in your JSP page, okay. So first, what you will do, you can design your page by using the HTML. So it is not a problem with any one of the developer that the JSP uses the tags, that is the HTML tags. But here comes the problem, because if you want to write something, then everyone should have the knowledge about the core Java coding standard. So it makes a little bit with the compare of the servlet, then it is very good. But if we talk about in terms of the uh, tags, then there is no tag. So since it is a blend of the HTML and the Java, so it will be better that in place of these scriptlet tag, expression tag, and anything that we are using with the Java code should be replaced with some tags. So what we need to do if we want to train any person that know how to handle the tags, so he or she will be able to write the code in the JSP only a little bit after providing the training, after providing the expertise. But if you want to train any person that should write the JSP code with the help of the Java, then you need to explain whole Java concepts, then he or she will be able to write the code. So it makes the code easier. And since we use the tags, so the writing of the code by using the JSTL and by writing the code by using expression language, it will be very easy and very simple. So that's why when we use the JSTL, we use the EL also, expression language. So I'll show you that how to use the expression language with the JSTL. Clear? It is the blend. If I only explain the EL and after that we'll go for the JSTL, it will take 2 sessions. So if I mix up these two things, so both will be covered in the single session. Just remember this point for the EL, this dollar and the pair of curly brackets. Now, since we want to use the JSTL in our application, so first just include the JSTL library into your application. And how to include the JSTL library? Just right click on your application, go to the properties, click on the library, then add library. And here you will find the JSTL 1.2. And you can get this library from the web. Just go and search JSTL library. You will get the jar file, and externally, if you want to include, then you can include. Since I'm using the NetBeans, then it is by default available into my library. So I'm going to add this library in my application. And okay. Now JSTL is means Java standard tag libraries are available in my application. So I can use the library in my application. Here, how to use the library? First thing. Yesterday I was discussing about the directives. Okay. So one directive we have seen, that is page, to import any class and interface in your page. One directive we have seen, that is include, to include any file in your application, that we have already seen. Another one directive is called taglib. Okay, so here is your taglib directive. So at the rate taglib, and to include any library that you want to use. So there are so many libraries are available. To write the core part of the core Java, there is a library that is called core. To perform the SQL operation by using JSTL, there is a library that's name is SQL. If you want to perform the formatting of your strings and any data, then there is a library called the FMT, formatting. So since I'm going to use the core Java code standard by using the JSTL, so I'll include the core. Okay, so just look at here. I'll use this one, the java.sun.com JSP JSTL core. This JSTL core I will use, and to include this library into the application, use the URI and press the enter. Since this core library is now available in your application, so how will you identify this URI? So we'll make a prefix. Prefix means the name by which I will identify this JSTL. So I'll identify this JSTL by the name of core. This name can be anything, and it is up to you that what is the name you want to provide. So you can write core, you can write C. So the standard that is followed by the developer, we follow that. We write core because we are now accessing the core of this JSTL by using this name. So this is the way that you can use to the core module in your application. What is core? Core means core Java. Core Java means iteration, the comparison, expression, uh, matching. So all the thing that operation you perform by using the core Java code, you can use by this prefix. Now come to this part. I'll first I just make it. So now this is the whole comment. Just remember this point that the prefix core is for the core I'm using in this page. So let me show you something. Prefix is core and core colon. When you write the core colon, you will see that there are so many attributes are available for the core that you can use in your application. So if, loop, out, param, redirective, set, URL, when. So these are the core libraries tags. So core.out, if you write, okay, core.out, and if you want to print something, then you can write value. And if I write ABC, the value ABC I'm writing here. Okay, let me run first. Fine. So the value I want to print is ABC. So in place of out.println, you can use out. Okay. So to print anything, we can use the value attribute. And suppose you have some value into the variable. So to define a variable, core colon set, we can use the set, and here it will ask that variable, what is the variable name? So variable name, I'll take A, and what is the value that you want to provide to it? I can say that hello, this one, and I want to print the value of A over here. So how will I access this? Now come to the EL. So by using the EL, you can communicate with your JSTL. So this is the variable name. As I said, if you want to use the EL in your application, you will use dollar and symbol. And now if I write the A, so this will access the A that you have defined into your page. So if I refresh this, then you can see that hello is printing. So this is the way that you can use the value that you have set into your page. The same thing, this is for output. Now come to another one, core colon, okay? And if you want that to check that if the particular condition is true, then something happen, then you can write the condition also. So as we know that to write the condition, we write if, okay? And to test something, to verify something, what we write the expression. So that expression is called the text expression. So we can write the test over here into EL. So what I'm going to write A, okay? And for equal, we can write the EQ. This is the expression language standard, okay? So EQ, if A is equal to something, that is hello, for example, if I write, if it is true, then print something, core colon out, and sorry, value that you want to print, that is okay. One more thing that we can perform with the operation is you can check anything that you want to here, could be the value of integer also, okay? So for equal to, we write EQ, okay? For checking the not equal to, we write NE, that is not equal, that's a short form, okay? If you want to check that any value is greater than something, so we write GT. This is the expression language. We write GT, greater than. For less than, that is LT, okay? So if A is less than any value, for example, if A, I have the value as 10, and if A is less than 10, if I write something, if A is less than 10, then the code should be execute. We can write less than. If A is equal to 10, then I can write EQ. So if A is 10, then it will execute. So you can see that OK is print because this condition gets true. Just tell me, till now, is it clear that how to use the expression language with the JSTL? Good. So now I will show you some more stuff by using the JSTL. So we can perform the testing, we can perform the output, we can perform the variable declaration. And next, what we can do with the core module, that is, we can perform the choose module that is available, okay? This is, you can say, one more time, I'll write core colon when. This is this module that, sorry, talking about module, this is not the module. This tag that we are using in our application, that is core colon choose. You can think that this is similar to the switch case. Means here so many options will be available in which only one option will be executed at a time. So when we write the test condition, okay, we write the test condition, and accordingly our code will execute. So what I am trying to do here, A is, if A is 1, so I write if A is equal to, if A is equal to 1, then it should print core colon out the value that you want, and you can write anything here because this condition gets true. So you can perform all your logic or all your tags that you want to show to the user, the output that you want to show to the user, value, and here A is 1. I can print A is 1, and I'll copy, and we can write so many switch and sorry, more than one case. So we can write, if 1, then this. If it is 2, then it should print 2. If it is 3, then it should print 3. So look at here, what is the value of A? So value of A is 1. So when it will go for choose one option, then it will find that this test case is valid. So it will execute this one. Look at here. So A is 1. This will execute. Let me delete this one. Okay. Let me make more than one when condition equal. Means this is equal to this expression. So let me show you that it will execute only once. Are you getting my view? That what I'm trying to say? That is, if A is equal to 1, then first this case will execute. After that, it will not go further to check any other case, because it will choose only one. So whenever it will find the first condition true, it will not go to check the next condition. Though you are writing more than one condition similar, but it will not execute. So if it is 2, and if I change the value of A to 2, just look at here, then it will go to execute, that is A is 2. What if A is not 1, A is not equal to 2, and A is not equal to 3? For example, A is 4. So you can find here that there is no output. So we have seen that when we use any switch case, I'm just saying that you can compare with that, because we are talking about the core. Okay. So in that case, the default case gets executed. Have you remember? So we can write the otherwise. We can write the otherwise. If no case matches, then it will execute the otherwise. So I'll copy and paste here, and here, no problem. No test case found, so no problem. So just look at here. Since A is equal to 4, so no condition will be evaluate. So in that case, otherwise will execute. And if we do this if we make it as a first statement, then, and if this is 1, this could be happen, because the otherwise you can write the first, and then when you can write the conditions checking. So let me execute this one. Then taglib c login means the validation that you are writing over here, the otherwise. Okay. So this should be the last. Let me, after using the core, let me execute one more time. Just look at here. So in switch case, you can write default anywhere, but if you are using the choose option, then you will write the otherwise at the end. So this is the way that you have multiple option to perform operation. Then you can use the choose, and you can make your test cases. Next is core colon for each. this one. For each we have already seen. Okay, so we can write the beginning. This is optional. If you have an object that, I can say that if you have any object that have more than one value, then you can iterate directly. But since here I don't have any object that has more than one value, so I'll start from 0. Okay, end to 10. What is the variable name you want to put? For example, you write for I is equal to 0, I is less than 10, and I plus plus. So you can find here that is I, the variable name I, and choose. So it will start from the 0, it will go to the end, and every value one by one come to the variable I. And if I want to print this value, then I can use core colon out, and the value that I want to print by dollar and I. So let me execute this. So you can see that 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If you want to change the step, then what you can do is step, for example, 2, then just look at here. Your output will be like 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So you can define the steps also. You can define the steps also. We'll use for each one more time. This is the core part, and I'll show you that how to use with the collection. Means if you have any object that has many value, then how to iterate by using the for each. So this is the for each loop that you can use in your JSTL. Next is core colon. Not URL set, no. Okay, redirect. I can show you to the URL of home.jsp if you want to redirect it to the home.jsp. Then you can see here it will redirect to the home.jsp. So these are very important aspects that we will use to write the code for using JSQL, for using the core. So only the thing that you need to remember that this is the EL you will write for write the expression to evaluate the expression, and these are your core tags. And to use the core tags, you will use the taglib library to include in your page, that is JSTL core. Just remember this one. You will find two things, that is JSP core, but we'll use the JSTL core because now JSTL is the part of the JSP. It is included from the 2.0. So we'll use JSTL core. Few more things I want to show you that. Suppose you have some value into the session and some value into the request. Look at here. These are the values that is coming from the request, and I need to access these value. Okay, these values into the login validate by using the JSTL. Fine. So how will you get that value? So let me show you, since we have seen this, and I will just remove this because it will redirect every time. So request is coming from the index.jsp to this page. So at the very top, I will write core colon, okay, set, or we can write the output also. Okay, I will write the output direct out value, the value that is coming from the user request to this page. So we can use the expression language like this, and as we know, if we want to access the value, we can access by using request.get parameter and the name by using the core Java. Got it? But since we are using the EL and we are using the JSTL, so by the EL you can access by writing the param dot. What is the attribute name that is coming from the request? Just you need to write only this statement, the parameter value that is coming from the request, and to represent that object we have the parameter and the name of that parameter. So look at here, if I execute this index.jsp, run, and if I provide some value into it, for example admin, so if it is is 12648, it is not getting print. Why? Let me check. What is the name of attributes? Just let me check first. Okay, the name of the attribute is not name. The name of the attribute is uname. That's why. The name of attribute is uname, and I am writing name. So that's why it is not getting the value. Let me do one more time. We'll get the value. Okay, so now look at here. We are getting the value admin. Okay, and one more thing you will notice that if the value is not coming, or the parameter name that you want to access is not part of your request, then it will not throw any exception. It will not throw that it is null. Okay, but if you write the code in this case, then you will get null. So first of all, you will check the null. After that, you will perform the operation, but null is automatically checked into your JSTL. You don't need to check it. Okay, so any parameter that is coming from the request that you trying to get, that you can get by using param that is similar to your HTTP request object. Okay, and uname. If you want to get the password, then you will write the u password by this. So I'll just copy here and paste. And what is the benefit of it? Just look at here. If I make it as bold, then you don't need to open and close your any scriptlet tag. If you're trying to print this value by using a scriptlet tag using the Java code, then what you will do, first you will open the scriptlet tag, after that you will print it, then you will close the scriptlet, and then you will close your b tag. So these two lines is very simple with compared to the scriptlet that we use in JSP. So look at here that the admin and admin. Okay, I have written, I guess, 2 times. That is u password. Okay, u password. So let's check that password is coming or not. So admin, okay, admin and the password I'm providing. So admin is the username and the password that I'm providing is super. So we can get any value that comes from the request. Similarly, if you have any value into the session, then you can use the attribute core colon out value dollar, and for accessing the value from the session, we write the session scope dot that attribute name in which you have set the value. So these are the param, the session scope are called implicit objects of EL, implicit objects of EL. So let me show you something. Come to here. EL implicit objects are page scope, request scope, session scope, and application scope. So these, the name that you can see here are implicit objects of your EL. So request scope is your request.set attribute, request.get attribute that you use. Session scope, that is for the session. Application scope, that is for your context. And page scope, that you define the variable onto the page, same page. We can access by using the page scope variable. Param and param values maps of the request parameter. We have already seen that how to access the value. And to access the cookie, we can use the cookie direct. So these are your EL implicit object you don't need to create. If you want to access the values from these scope, you just need to write the scope, means object name, and the variable that is inside that scope, you will get the value. Fine. And here, some EL operations. If you want to perform the arithmetic operation, then you can perform the addition by using plus, subtraction, multiplication, division. And for division, we can use the div also. And you can divide by 0 in EL, no problem at all. And what you will get infinity, not an error. Let me show you. If I write the value that is 10 divided by 0, if you write the same code on the core Java, okay, then you will see that you will get exception, that is arithmetic exception, division by 0. But here you will not get that exception. So there are so many things that is already inbuilt, that is a null pointer exception, division by 0 exception. So you can write code in a very simple manner. This makes the code very easy. Remainder, for a remainder, you can use the mod symbol, as well as you can use the mod, MOD. You can write. You cannot use the remainder operator against a 0. You will get an exception. So let me show you something. Where is, okay? So here I'm going to find the mod. Okay. So 10 mod 0. Okay. So this is exception, because you are dividing by 0 and you are getting exception. If I make it this 1, so let me show you that what is the mod of this by 1. So mod is 0. Okay. So now we have get an exception in the previous example. Just look at here. So how to handle the exception? I'm not saying that exception will not occur, but there are so many things that is already handled by your JSTL. So yes, exception can be occur, but what if exception occur? Core module gives you one more tag by which you can handle the exception. Just look at here. To handle the exception, what we use in core Java, we use try, catch, and finally. Fine. So here I'm going to write only the catch. You don't need to write any try, and you don't need to write any finally anything. That is the catch. If any exception occur, then exception will be available into this object E. And if you want to show that which type of the exception occur, then you can write by out value. We can use the dollar and the variable E. to print the exception. So now look at here. Since we can see that 10 mod 0 were generating an exception. So let's see, will it happen again? So now look at here. Your page is fine. It will show you that java.lang.arithmetic exception divided by 0 is occur. Why? Because you are getting the exception into the E and you are printing that. If you don't print, then it will not show you that which type of the exception is occur. Now tell me, can you do this? Can you do this with the 2 lines using core Java? No. So we can say that if we use the JSTL by and with EL, this makes our code very readable and very simple to write, isn't it? Now tell me, till now is it clear? And any question? To handle the exception, you just need to write the catch. Clear till now? Everything? Good, good. What happened, Meng? Today you are not responding. Are you fine? Okay, good. Because your response is not coming. I'm asking to so many times, so many questions. Okay, fine then. Good. Okay, so this is the EL and okay, no problem. So are you getting my voice properly? Okay, then fine, no problem. Now come to this part. If you want to use the logical operator in EL, then you can write and like this, or you can write and by and, A-N-D. It is EL. Okay. To or you can write or. For not you can write not. So I don't think so. This should be this. I should write the code according to explain the and, or, and not. You can use and as we know that we can combine more than one expression into to evaluate. So if you want to check that 1 is greater than 2 and B is greater than C, or so that kind of expression you can write by this. So you can use either and to ampersand, or you can write and. So this is the logical operator. Relational, we can write the equals for double equal, and for that we can write EQ. But recommendation for the EL is just I'm telling you, the recommendation for the EL is we should write and, we should write or, we should write not. For equal, we should write EQ, not equal NE. For the less than and greater, sorry, less than, this is LT, greater than GT, less than equal, that is LE, greater than equal, that is GE. Okay. So these are some arithmetic operators and to write the expression by using EL. So this makes the code very easy. Now one more. Come to here. Let me check one more thing. No, not required. Okay, one more thing I'll just want to show you. That is remove. Okay. So I'll use remove, not here. I'll use remove here. Remove variable A. What it does? Okay, just look at here. The variable that you have set into the code that is the name of A with the value 1. If you want to remove the variable, then you can use remove and the variable. Okay. Now, if I execute this code, just look at here. Okay. So now you can see no problem because A is removed. So no value will be matched with any condition. So if you want to remove any variable from your page and if you want to reset the value, then you can use this tag. I'll use one more library to make it more convenient to understand. I'll use one more library. As we know that URI, I'll use SQL. Okay, since we have done so many things with the SQL, the name we can write SQL to get this code. Now, what I'm going to do, I will write some SQL queries. Okay, so as we know that first of all we need to establish the connection with the database, and after that we will perform the SQL queries. So how to use the SQL tag library into your application? First, let me make it fresh. SQL colon, and here you will write set data source, from where and for which database you want to connect. And here I will write the driver first of all. And what is the driver name? com.mysql.jdbc.driver. This one. What is the URL for which you want to connect? JDBC colon mysql colon / localhost colon 3306 / new DB. Okay. Who is the owner of this database privileges? So root. What is the password of this user? So we can provide this password. Just look at here. When you write this one, this makes the connection with the database in only one line. SQL colon set data source, put the driver name, URL, username, and password. And to do this, we write these two lines. So this makes the connection. After that, we can write the queries. SQL colon. What is the query? So just look at here, as we know that there are, and we have already discussed that we can divide our query into two parts. One is the selection type and second one is your other than selection. So for selection type, we use query and write your SQL into the SQL. I will write select value, select asterisk from the database name, the table name. The table name was, I was taking login master. Okay. So when this SQL will execute, will get some value in the form of result set. So I can write here the variable name. Okay. So I will get the result into RE. This is my query. Now, what we do after getting the value from the database, we iterate it and we write while rs.next, then we get the value. So for here, we can use that by using for each. Okay. And since RE will have more than one value at a time, so we can iterate it by using items, and items which is available into RE. And to get the value, we write re.rows. to get rows, and whenever it will iterate one by one rows, it will return the value into another variable. So I'll create another variable that name is data, and to get the data from this variable, I'll print it. So we can make the table, but okay, let me create the table. Just look at here. Table only need to use the tags, and in it you will find tr, then td, and how many tds I want. I want suppose 3 or 4 tds. So copy and paste, and I need to print the value. So what will I do? Core colon out value, that value into the data. So I will use the JSTL EL, and I will write the data here. Now you will access the value by the column's name. So what is the column name? Let me open. Then we can access the value. Yes. Write the password of this. This is my new DB. Column name is login ID. So I'll use the login ID, the first value. This one. Let me copy and paste. Copy and paste. Second one is your password. So I will not, okay, let me print it. Means you need to access the value by using the field name, the table column name. User type. Another one is your user type. And the next one, I'll print the country. So let me print the country. And let's execute it. Where is the page? This one. So let's see that what happened. So now you can see here, all the values are coming from your page. I'm just writing only these number of statements. So I hope you are getting the use of the JSTL in application. It makes your code shorter first, then it makes your code well balanced in terms of tags, because everywhere you are using the tag, you are not using any Java code, but internally it gets converted, but it's none of our business that how the things are going managed by the Java. The thing that is, these tags are available and we need to write the code. Okay, so this is the way that you can write the code to validate, to get the data from your table. If you want to update some value into your database, so this is to get the value. Now perform the insertion. To perform the insertion, we can perform the updation. So let me perform the updation. Core colon, sorry, not core. First, I'll write the SQL. SQL colon update. Okay. Then we'll write the SQL, and I will write insert into table name, that is login master, values that I want to insert, values, and within this I'll pass the value. Login ID is a new user. Password is a new password. User type is student. These are the columns name I'm providing into this SQL. Next is gender is male. Country is India. And the variable v is status. If this code gets executed perfect, then you will see that this status you will get some value. Okay, now check the value of the status and print that your output to the user that registration is done successfully. The result, the value or the record is inserted into the table. So insert into login master values, new user, new password, student, male, India. Now check if test, sorry, core colon if, I will write core colon if test dollar, the variable name is status. Okay. And as we know that status, we can get the value as greater than or less than. So we can, okay, let me, sorry, this is the index. So we can check that, where is that code? This one. So we can check that the status value. So if status value is for the greater than, we can write the GT is 0. It means, okay, sorry. It means the record is inserted. So core colon out. Print the value user registration done. Okay, so let me execute this. If no error, then it will find. So user registration done. And if I perform the same operation again, then you can see here, that is integrity constraint exception is coming, duplicate entry for the new user. So how to handle this? Simple. When you write this code, you will write core colon catch, a variable e that will handle it. And if exception occur, so we can write core colon out, yes, out value that is inside e. So if exception occurs, then it will show you this one. Or you can print anything, since we know that this is the violation of the primary key integrity constraint violation. So we can print that not e according to this our message. So how to print the message that we want? We can write core colon if test if dollar colon e is not equal to null. If it is not null, it means some exception occurred. So we can print core colon out that, or you can print the simple. I will not use this one. I'll print into the bold tag user already exist. So let's see. So now you can see that user already exists, and since we are printing the e, that's why we are getting this. So this kind of the message is not useful for the end user. If you show this message, then this will make sense to the user. So you can use in this way. That is your updation query. Yes, tell me, is it clear? Good. It means we can perform the selection operation, we can perform the operation of updation by using the JSTL and the EL. And it is very useful for writing the code. And if you want to perform these operations by using the core model of the coding, that is class.forName, connection, get connection, prepared statement, and after that you perform any operation, just write the code and just compare with this statement. You will find that this is very simple and very easy. Only the thing that you need to do is you need to do only practice. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is here, previously we were performing the operation that is user validation. Just look at it here, this code. If user is valid, then we redirect to the home page. If user is not valid, then we redirect to the index page. So we will perform the same operation by the JSTL. Okay. I'm going to perform the same operation by the JSTL. So let me delete this because this is, I will not use this again. So I'm going to delete, okay, all the code because this is not required right now. And all the things are getting a record. So you will get the video. So driver manager, we have already. First of all, we'll get the username and password. And how to get the username and password? Core colon set a new variable. I will use the variable name as user and value, value value variable name is user, first value that is coming from the parameter param dot uname. So this value is available. Again, I'll copy and paste to get the value from parameter. Control C, Control V, that is U password. After that, I will write the SQL query to evaluate SQL colon query, and SQL will be select asterisk from login master where login ID, well, login ID is equal to dollar and the user. Okay, this the value that we have get into the user, and here I will write and password is equal single inverted comma dollar and the password name I will change that PWD, that is $PWD, and the result I will store into a variable this. So if this gets execute perfect, then your RE will have some value, otherwise it will not have. So let's execute core colon if, okay, if test dollar RE is not equal to null, means it has some value, then this is the valid user. Then core colon go to this URL, that is the URL value is home.jsp, home.jsp. And if it is still null, if it is equal to null, then go to the index.jsp. So let's see, will it work? First, let me reload. And here is the admin password. I hope the password is this. Okay. Okay. Value I am providing. Core colon redirect to the URL home.jsp. Home.jsp. Copy. Paste. And this is index. Okay. Reload. So now you are at home.jsp. Now what if the user is not a valid user? Then just look at here. Login. And again it is going at the same. It is select attribute from login master where login ID is equal $user $password re test re is not equal to null. Fine. If re equal to null, then index.jsp. It is every time going to this part. Okay. One thing, I make a mistake over here. Core colon because I have defined this variable. Dot rows is not equal to null. That should work. Not working. Why? Let me check. Core colon out. The value dollar is re dot rows. I do this, then it is going on to the home dot. Login. So this is a sorted map, one object, that is sorted type. It is fine. If I provide this, then core colon for each, that is item. Let me type first. Re dot rows variable s and c out, sorry, core colon out value. I'll print first, then I'll redirect. S, let me print. Okay. What is coming? Nothing. And if the username is this and password. then yes, it is coming. Good. So if this happen, then I will redirect it. Core colon redirect to the URL that is what is the name of the URL? That is home.jsp. Okay. And if this is not happen, you can check whether the values are coming into S or not by writing here. One thing more I can write here, if core colon no, not here. Otherwise, look at here. Core colon redirect to the URL index.jsp. Let me check this one. Okay, now it is going fine. Now, if I provide the username and password wrong, then it will go on to the index.jsp. Okay, good. So if your username and password that you provide here, if it is fine according to the query, then your rows, you will get one row at least, and after that this URL will proceed. And if this not happen, then you will go to the index.jsp. If we go on to the index.jsp, we can do one more thing, that core colon set variable I'm writing here, and variable name is err and message, error message. The value, what is the value you want to put into it? So here is username or password incorrect. But I don't want to print this value onto the same page. I want to print this value onto the index.jsp. So what will I do? I will set the scope of this is session. Okay. So the value that is err message, now the scope of this err message is session. And here I will write session.get attribute err message and print it. So only I will write dollar and session attribute dot err msg. Let me check that the name of this variable is same or not. Yes, this one. Copy, and here I will paste it. So let's see if we provide any username and the password wrong, then what happened? Then you can see username or password is incorrect and username password is incorrect. Okay, why this output is coming twice? Just look at here. We are getting this the red value by using these statements. Okay, and the black statement that is coming from this statement. So the whole thing that you are writing to get the error message from the session, you are writing the core, the core Java code by using if session attribute is not equal to null, then print the value into the error message. But the same thing you can do by the EL. You can write the session scope and the value. You don't need to write the null condition also. Okay. So only the thing, this statement will make equal to this statement. So this is the way that we can use the session and the session scope. And just look at here. This is the code that I was writing to perform the validation. But here I am writing only these statements. Now tell me, is it clear? Fine. So this is all about the JSTL and EL. I'm not saying that this is the end, because there are so many libraries are available that you can use to perform the JSTL operation by the function, by the formatting. Only the thing that I need to discuss, that is how to use these in your code. So if you want to access, if you want to use any other tag library, just go through the tag libraries tags and description, and just include in your page and use them.